Alright, let's go ahead and look at the MB command. The MB command is for moving files inside the terminal. So how will we accomplish that inside the graphical user interface? It's pretty simple. If you wanted to move a file, in this case, let's say we wanted to move this secret.back file into the downloads directory, you just drag it and drop it into that, and it's now in there. If you wanted to move it back, you just basically drag it back into the home directory, and it is now back into the home directory. It's really simple, really straightforward. How to do that. So how do we accomplish this inside the terminal? So let's try to accomplish that same exact thing we did at the graphical user interface inside the terminal. It would just be a matter of mb secret.back, then to what directory we want to move it into, which is downloads in this case, and then the name of the file .back. Let's go ahead and list what's inside the downloads directory, and there we go. We can see that the secret.back file is inside there. It's pretty straightforward, really easy to do. Another cool thing about the mb command is that you don't have to be in whatever directory to basically move a file out of there. Kind of like what we did in the graphical user interface. In order to move this secret.back file, we had to basically click and go into the downloads directory and then move that file back out of there. You don't have to do that with the terminal. It's pretty straightforward to basically move this file back into the tacos directory. So if we know the absolute path of it, so tacos/downloads, and then secret, and then we're going to move it back into the tacos directory. And there we go. It is now back into the tacos directory. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Let's say now we needed to basically rename this file. That's another cool thing about the mb command. It is not only does it move files around, it also renames them. Much like the copy command, but unlike the copy command, you're just basically making an exact copy of that file. And this one you're just basically renaming. So in order to do that, it's just do secret.back, because we're not going to move it into a different directory. We just keep it within the same directory. We're just going to do mb secret.back, and then we're going to rename it to super secret.back to ls, and there we go. It has been renamed to super secret.back. It is pretty straightforward command, really easy to do, really easy to understand, and it has two functions, which is pretty cool. It has not only the function to move a file, but it has the function to also rename a file. And again, much like the other commands that we've seen before, you don't have to be in a directory where that file is. You just have to know the absolute path of that file to be able to move that file around. It's pretty straightforward. If you combine a lot of the other things that we've been learning in this series, you can basically know where files are at. So if you do pwd, you know where the current working directory you're in. If you do ls, you can find out where that file is. And if you do an ls again of the directory you're trying to move it into, you can figure out what other files are in there. You can figure out, so for example, if we do ls of this directory, we know that there's a super secret.back file in here. And if we do an ls of the downloads directory, we can see that there's also a super secret.back file in there as well. So what happens if we're trying to move this super secret .back file into the downloads directory, where there currently is a super secret .back file? It'll basically override it. You see? So there's no longer a super secret file here, and there's another super secret .back file in there. So that's kind of one thing you have to keep in mind, that it will automatically override it. It won't give you a prompt of whether you want to override it or not. So it's just something you got to keep in mind, be careful with, because sometimes if you're going to move a file and there's already a file that's already with the same name in there, it may override it and you may lose some of your work. So just kind of keep that in mind. Make sure that you don't accidentally override a file that it's important or has some kind of configuration in there that might break something if it's overwritten. So it's another little thing you have to keep in mind with the mb command, that it not only moves files but also renames files. And you have to be careful because again, it doesn't give you any prompt that there's a file already with the same name in there, so things might get overwritten. If you need to know more about the MV command, again, just simple -help. There you go. You get to see everything that's about the MV command. The -F here for force, it does not prompt you for overriding, so again, you have to be careful. If you want to do interactive mode, a -I will help you for that. Of course, if you do -I and -F at the same time, it's not going to work, because it's just the force command basically says it's going to override it no matter what. So just keep in mind these kind of little things, and that's basically how the MV command works.